Have you ever just stopped and wondered why some people can work their fingers to the bone their entire lives and have almost nothing to show for it, while other people seem to build incredible wealth almost silently from behind a computer screen? Well, let's get into it, because the answer isn't at all what you've been told. It's a tale of two paths, isn't it? On one side, you've got the common road, years and years of hard labor that leads at best to just barely surviving. And on the other side, strategic thinking, the kind that leads to what looks like effortless growth. And here's the brutal truth. Real, lasting wealth was never meant to be a prize for physical exhaustion. In fact, you could say the idea that financial success is all about grinding out 16-hour days. Well, that belief is probably the most cleverly designed psychological and economic trap ever laid for people. And this leads us to a really critical realization. The system that creates wealth, it's not broken, it's not random, it's working exactly as it was designed. It's a meticulously engineered machine operating just beneath the surface, and our job today is to crack the code. The first step is to see the main psychological bug that keeps so many people stuck. It's called the proportional effort fallacy. It's this deep-seated, flawed belief that to get a huge reward, you have to put in a huge amount of physical struggle. It's the mindset that keeps people busy building walls brick by brick instead of engineering a door. To break free, you need a radical shift in your thinking. See, the flawed goal is to make money, as if you're creating it from thin air. The real goal is to intercept money that's already moving. Just picture these massive rivers of value, commerce, data, attention. They're already flowing 24/7. Your job isn't to create more water. It's to build a small, smart channel and divert a tiny stream for yourself. So, this brings us to the core concept for this entire explainer, the governing valves theory. I want you to picture the entire global economy as this massive, intricate network of pipes. And through these pipes, value is flowing constantly. Now, inside the system, you can really only play one of two roles. There's the employee. They stand at the very end of a tiny pipe, cup in hand, collecting the drips of a salary. But then there's the strategist. The strategist doesn't wait for drips. No, they find a way to control a main valve, right at a junction where the flow is thick and fast. So how do you control a valve? Well, it's a four-step process. First, you find a river of need. Think about all the small businesses out there that desperately need better marketing tools. That's a river. Second, you identify a very specific bottleneck, a specific problem in that flow. Third, you engineer a valve. That's your solution, your product, your service that fixes that one problem. And fourth, you collect a small toll for the value that now flows through your valve. And that leads to the one question you absolutely have to ask yourself. Right now, are you producing value with your own two hands, tied to the hours in your day? Or are you building a bridge that allows other people's value to cross more efficiently, generating profit as it does? One is limited. The other is not. Okay, so let's shift gears from the theory to the blueprint. It's time to start thinking like an architect and actually design your first system. And here is your new mission, should you choose to accept it. You have to stop looking for clever solutions. Instead, I want you to start hunting for valuable problems. You have to understand this. Wealth isn't attracted to talented people. It is magnetically attracted to painful, recurring problems that need solving. This, by the way, is the real meaning of passive income. It's not some get-rich-quick fantasy. The real, grown-up definition is the strategic separation of your time from your income. And listen, it demands immense, focused, upfront work to build an asset, a system of valve that then works for you. And now, a harsh truth, the kind most gurus won't tell you. Your first system, your first attempt at building a vow, it will most likely fail. It probably won't earn a single dollar. And you know what? That is perfectly normal. In fact, it's part of the process. Because the crucial difference is how you frame it. The old view sees that failure as a sign of incompetence, a reason to quit and run back to the safety of a salary. But the strategist sees it as data acquisition. It's just the tuition you pay to gather real-world market intelligence. It's the cost of admission for a much, much better second attempt. All right, this brings us to the final, and honestly, the most important part of all of this. Because the real obstacle isn't the competition or the economy. The true battlefield is you against you. The single biggest hurdle you're ever going to face is not a lack of capital. It's that ancient inner programmer in your mind that is screaming for the safety of what's known. It's that primal wiring that absolutely despises uncertainty, and it will do anything to keep you in your comfort zone, even if that comfort zone is a financial prison. But here's the upside. Just by understanding this framework we've walked through, the valves, the flows, the psychological traps, you are already, right now, in the top 4% of people who actually get how the world's wealth system operates. You've seen behind the curtain. So, what's your first move? Step 1 is absolutely critical. Do not quit your job. That's an emotional, reckless decision. Instead, you're going to dedicate 1 sacred hour every single day to this new work. Use that hour to research problems and to design your first tiny valve. You build it quietly. You build it piece by piece. Never, ever underestimate the power of that relentless daily accumulation of progress. And that leaves you with one final question. This is the question that's meant to shift you from being a passive listener to an active architect. I want you to look around your life, your job, your hobbies, your community. What is one recurring frustration, one problem that you could start engineering a solution for starting this week?